The first thing you'll do when you start throwing is wedge your clay. We have two types of clay at the wedging table. We have hand building clay, which is the brick. It comes straight out of the box. This is the clay that you'll use when you're building at your table, like your quail pot or your animal. It's a little bit drier than the pugged clay, and it's easier to hand build with. We also have the pugged clay, or the throwing clay. It will have a stripe on it. It doesn't really matter what color, but if it has a stripe on it and if it has clips on it, then it is the pugged clay. It's also in smaller bricks, so if you look in the bag, they're going to be small bricks like this, not the bigger bricks of the hand building clay. So you'll need about 2 bricks. Sometimes these are kind of wet. They'll stick together, so it's about softball size, a little bit bigger. You'll grab 1.5 to 2 bricks, and then you'll close this bag back up. And you will wipe off a spot on the wedging table. The wedging table is called the wedging table because we wedge at it. It is made out of plaster, and the plaster soaks up the clay, or I'm sorry, soaks up the moisture, so the clay doesn't stick to it as well. Okay, you'll want to wipe away any dry pieces because you don't want that in your clay. You're going to put them together, and then you're going to wedge. So when you're wedging, you're taking all of the air bubbles out of the clay, and you push with your palms, and you pull back with your fingers. Push with your palms, pull back with your fingers. Okay, you really need to use your whole body. You don't just use your arms because you have to make sure you push pretty hard. If you listen quietly, you'll hear air bubbles popping. When you push back with your fingers, you also have to push pretty hard. Okay, you're using a lot of muscle. You also want to make sure that you're picking it up and turning it, because if you watch, if I'm wedging this over and over again, it turns into this giant burrito. We don't want that. We want to keep it pretty round. So I wedge it once, and then I pull it back, and I turn it over. Okay, you'll do this about 15 to 20 times, and once you're done, you'll just hit it into a ball, and then you will take it to your wheel.